Hello and welcome to me and my lovely home and today's vlog, which is going to be about dissociation in a nutshell. If you follow me on other social media platforms, then you know that I've been talking about dissociation for quite a while because it's something that I've been struggling with over the last few months, though it is something I've had previously but quite some time ago, and I didn't realise that that is what it was. So the research for this vlog has actually been as much helpful for me as I'm hoping it will be for you. So I've put all the research that I've done and links and everything down the description box below so that you can do some further reading if you want. But I know that this is one of the more complicated, I guess, something that people don't really know a lot about, so that's why I wanted to do a video about it, because I've had a lot of questions about it and it's kind of hard to explain when you're trying to message someone about it, so hopefully this vlog will make things clearer. So what is dissociation? It is a natural response to trauma, either a one-off event or ongoing, and it is sort of your brain's way of protecting itself. Many people may experience dissociation in their life. For instance, at the lowest scale, like the really low end scale of dissociation, is daydreaming, which I know all of us will have done at some point, whether it's in a meeting because we're really bored or on public transport. But you can snap out of that whenever you want, like, oh, someone said my name, better snap out of it. Or you've come to your stop or whatever, you need to get off the bus, things like that. So it's under your control and it's quite a pleasant experience because, you know, you're taking yourself out somewhere else and you're not sitting on the bus with a load of smelly people or whatever. Other than daydreaming, there can be lots of other reasons why you might experience dissociation as sort of like a one-off. For instance, if you get a sudden shock, like you're told that you've got a life-changing illness or a life-limiting illness, or someone close to you has died, and that can make you feel like everything's not real and you're not in the right place, if you know what I mean, which I'll explain a bit more in a bit. So that's a form of dissociation. Also, if you take drugs or alcohol, you can experience dissociation along with those as well. At the other end of the scale is dissociated identity disorder. If you want to know more about that, I will link a vlogger who talks about it in depth and does really good educational videos, not just about DID, but also about the PTSD and other things that can come with DID and trauma related mental illnesses. So if you want to learn more about that, then I will link her in the bottom because she'll explain it a lot better than I will. Between those two extremes, there are many other experiences of dissociation, and there are different types of dissociation, such as dissociation amnesia, derealization and dispersonalization, which I'm going to talk more about because that is what I experience. Dispersonalization is basically feeling like you are viewing the world and yourself like you're watching a TV program or something. So you don't actually feel like you're in your own body. It's really, I suppose, quite hard to explain. When I feel it starting to come on, I realise that things look like they're moving. Like now I'm just seeing everything like everyone else does. Everything's solid, nothing's moving, everything looks real, like I can touch it and everything's fine. My arms and my legs feel like my own because I'm here in my body and I know there's a connection between me wanting to move my arm this way and me actually moving my arm this way. But when I start to go, everything looks like it's moving and doesn't look quite real. And my thoughts start sort of, it's not dizziness as such, but there's like this sensation behind my eyes and I can often feel it in my temples, and that's usually because I'm trying to keep my brain here and keep it focused, but someone else, like my brain, is wanting to go backwards, like the defense mechanism is wanting to go away, to give myself, I guess, a break. So everything starts to move and all my thoughts feel like they're going backwards and forwards, like they're all in there. Nothing distressing or anything like that necessarily. It's just everything I can see, all the lights, everything are all happening and all people's voices, but I can't hold on to any of them. So I can hear people talking, but I can't relate what I can hear to myself, that they're talking to me. And quite often when I've completely gone, my speech will be like, I'll just go blah when I try and say something and then just kind of give up. Like I can't connect everything in my head to be able to function properly, and my arms and legs don't feel like my own, and I literally just feel like I'm observing myself and the world around me from somewhere else. As well as you doing it naturally and just for a moment, such as the daydreaming or, you know, the alcohol, whatever, it also can be a sign of a mental health problem. Also, my dog has just come in, so if you can hear some random noises, it is just her. It can be a sign of illnesses such as PTSD, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder. The list is quite endless. You may experience triggers, things that she's just walking all over me. It's a good job you're so cute, isn't it? Yeah, oh, you can see a little nose in the screen. As I was saying, like with flashbacks, you may experience triggers that make you disassociated that are trauma related. So things that you see, smells, movements, tastes, anything like that can cause you to disassociate. A flashback itself can also trigger disassociation if that is the response that your body used when you're going through the original trauma. There are grounding techniques that you can use, just like with flashbacks. For me, I've found that cold water helps. Sipping it brings me back quicker, because sometimes I seem to get stuck disassociating. Other times it's really quite brief, it's only a few minutes. Other times it's a really long length of time and I struggle to get back. You're right there shaking yourself out. And I found accidentally, because someone gave me a glass of water, because it's one of those things where they were like, I don't really know what to do, here's a glass of water, and it actually worked. They're my notes. You can't eat the microphone wires. No, definitely not that. Oh Jesus, now she thinks it's a game. My disassociation developed to help protect myself from ongoing trauma from the ages of 11 to 15. I didn't have any help and I was stuck having to go through this over and over again, day after day. So my brain developed ways to cope and to live through what was happening to me. So because I couldn't remove my body from it and I couldn't stop it, even though I tried to and did all, the usual things or whatever, I had to go through it. So therefore, my mind started distancing itself. So it felt like that what was happening to my body that I couldn't control was happening to somebody else. My mind had disappeared off and it was like things were happening around me or to me and I felt disconnected. So it was a way of coping with the trauma. So now it has come back again, even though it has sporadically happened previously, but it's happened again now more because I've gone through more trauma that my brain has linked. There is enough links between what has happened now or what is happening now to what happened when I was younger, even though they're actually completely different experiences. My brain has got a little confused and it has put loads of channels between everything that's happened recently and stuff that happened when I was a teenager. So things aren't in the right boxes in my head, things are all over the place, and it feels like, when you get the Christmas lights out, when you want to put your tree up at Christmas and you get them out and somehow, even though you haven't moved them since the year before, they've managed to tie themselves in a massive knot and you spend basically an hour or so trying to untangle the lights so that you can put them on your tree again. Well, that basically is what my brain feels like at the moment, and I'm trying to untangle it and, oh, dog in the background, and put the right memories and things in the right boxes. So things that are happening now are triggering things that happened a long time ago because the feelings are the same, and my brain has made that connection because it's like we got through this last time, these feelings and what happened before last time, and we can do it again, but this is how we did it. So I'm going to use that information that we learned from when you were younger and use it again for now. But that means that everything's getting all caught up and I'm remembering stuff that happened a long time ago that I've purposefully suppressed and not wanted to, obviously, because it's painful to go back into and to remember, and it's bringing that kind of stuff back out at the most random times. It is ridiculous. Like, they're not always distressing things, but sometimes they're like the beginning before it would get distressing, and the flashbacks are coming and the disassociation is coming because my brain is just trying to give me a break and move backwards and cope with what is happening, or the emotions or the stress or the hurt or the pain or just everything. So it's just trying its best, but really getting very confused. So I'm kind of proud of my brain in some ways, because even though it's hard to lead a normal life, like I have a job, and if you're disassociating in the middle of your job, it's kind of like, oh my God, it's a little bit stressful because you worry about it. And I feel like I can't go and get the bus on my own because I'm worried that something will happen, and people around you just panic. They think like you're going to faint, or I don't know, they think you're really ill or something, and they just have a massive panic about it. But I'm proud of my brain because it's showing resilience and strength, that it is doing this, that it learned to do this when I was younger. So I am kind of proud of it, even though it's also a little irritating. So at the moment, now what is happening next door? Like, seriously, sorry about all the sound effects in the background. Anyway, I hope this sorry, that's the dog hinting that it wants to go on a walk. You will be going in a minute. please let me finish doing my vlog. Thank you. I hope that this vlog made dissociation a bit clearer and not more complicated or more confusing. I'm still learning quite a lot about it myself and my own responses and why, you know, what my triggers are and what are my sort of grounding techniques and things, because when it used to happen a lot was when I was younger and I didn't understand it or what was going on. It was just almost like normal daily life for me. But now obviously that I'm older and I've had breaks where I've had long gaps where I've not had any problems with dissociation, but now obviously it's happening really frequently again, even though I'm back on tablets. Obviously want to look more into it and read more about it, which is why the research for this vlog helped me just as much as I hope that it helps you guys to understand it too. Everyone's experiences of dissociation are different. Just because this is what I experienced and what's caused my dissociation doesn't mean that because yours is different, therefore it's wrong. That's not it at all. Everyone's is different because, if nothing else, all our personalities are different. So the way you respond to things is just different. So the way you dissociate is going to be different also. With these mental health vlogs, I'd really appreciate if you could share them, because I want to help end the stigma and just get people talking about them and realise that they're not alone, that they're not the only person who has these illnesses or feels like this from time to time, and even people who don't have a mental illness but have had these feelings, whether it's dissociation or have had episodes of depression or do get really anxious at some points or whatever it is, if they can feel less alone or feel like they can understand what's happening more, then I feel like doing these vlogs and spending the time editing them, because it takes a long time and I hate editing, is worthwhile. So please share, and of course, as always, like this vlog and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.